me give this a couple more minutes while I set up. So in the meantime, if you are willing to join, hello. If not, that's totally okay. We'll see each other again on another occasion, I'm sure. If you want to say hello, please feel free to do so in the live chat box. I'll be very happy to do. Let me just set this up here first of all. I'll be with you 1 second. There we go. Great. In the live chat. There we go. Found it. 1 second here. All right. Well done. Okay, so greetings from Tokyo, my dear friends. This is just another a surprise live stream. I call it surprise. That's just my way of another way of saying unorganized, unscheduled. So thank you very much on the agenda. In a manner of speaking, it's just an opportunity on this for me Saturday morning to be able to say hello to you in the live stream format. I will of course have have the live chat available for anyone who is wanting to leave a message and say hello. So I'll do my best to reach out to as many of those messages as possible. So if you want to leave a message in the live chat, please feel free to do so. If I skip over your comment or if I miss your name by accident, please, I'm very sorry about that. It's not my intention. So if you feel that way, just repeat a little nudge, and then I'll do my best to respond. So. And again, just for reminders, in case you are interested, there will be another live stream tomorrow, my time. So, what is that? Sunday, October 16th, 7 a.m. Tokyo time. We will be talking about another film which can be found in many places. For example, this Blu-ray set, Superman. We will be talking about the Richard Donner cut, or the Richard Donner version, or the Richard Donner vision of Superman 2. And we spoke about Superman 2 last Sunday, and now this upcoming Sunday, I'd like to focus on the Richard Donner version, or what could have been under the directorial guidance and vision of Richard Donner. So it is it's one of those great what ifs in cinema history, and we get a little bit. It's not a complete film, and it's fully acknowledged as such at the very start, before with the opening maybe title card, explanatory card at the very start. It's not a complete film per se, but it gives one, I think, a really excellent idea of what could have been. And it's that what could have been concept that I think we will be focusing in on during the discussion tomorrow. So in case you're interested, my dear friends, we will be having the Superman 2 Richard Donner cut, or Richard Donner version discussion, Sunday, October 16th, 7 a.m. So that's tomorrow, my time, around this time tomorrow, a little bit earlier of start. So if you're interested, my dear friends, please feel free to stop by. I'd love to see you there. It's been really fun to be able to talk about the Superman films. It's one of my hopes is I am able, with some degree of success, I hope to be able to convey to you how much I really love these films, and that they really came in what one might call a real kind of sweet spot in my life. In other words, when I was growing up as a kid, it was just the perfect opportunity for me to watch these films and fall in love with them. And so, and it's been a type of relationship with these films that I've had ever since. So I'm trying my best to convey those feelings, or to convey that feeling that I have for these films. So whether I'm successful or not, you are the ultimate judges of that. But I will, of course, continue on with the Superman discussion, the Christopher Reeve Superman films. including also Supergirl. So we will do that. So thank you so much. And let me just touch upon a couple more points in this live stream. Again, a very casual talk today, nothing of any urgent, dire matter. So very, very casual. And also for me, it gives me the lovely opportunity to be able to speak with you in real time, as it were. So in that spirit, let's go to the live chat. And MJ is here. So hello, it's nice to see you. Matthew Lockwood is here. Hello, it's nice to see you. Abby's Corner, it's nice to see you as well. Abby's Corner. Future Wizard 97. Hello, Daisuke. How are you? Today is my birthday. Well, Future Wizard 97, if it's okay, let me and perhaps many and others can join me in wishing you a very happy birthday. Future Wizard 97. Very, very happy birthday greetings to you. That's really cool. And I hope that you had you had or you are having a lovely birthday day, and that whatever your plans are, either for today or whatever the case may be, this is the time to have fun and to enjoy. So please, my dear friend, warmest birthday greetings and regards to you. I hope you're well. Thank you so much. Thank you. A ghost is here. Hello. Into Gray is here. It's nice to see you, my dear friend. Hello. Magnitude Rev, hello. It's nice to see you. I always appreciate your epic updates, your cinema journey updates. I love those. They emerge, I would say, maybe like once a month or twice a month, maybe a little bit more, something like that, I would say. But they are one of the great highlights of my YouTube channel comment reading. I read all the comments, and many people leave behind, or everyone leaves behind such great comments. And among those, Magnitude Rev. Wow, I love it. I love it every time. It's so great. It's this great thing. It's wonderful. So thank you. So please, I look forward to the next one with great anticipation. Zephyr is here. Hello, it's nice to see you. Late night double feature picture show. Hello, it's nice to see you. I received some of your messages. Sorry I wasn't able to respond, so but I have received them. So thank you so much, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Mike is here. Mike Eli from Las Vegas. It's great to see you. Yes, wonderful. Steve Moody, hello Daisuke. Care to offer up an Otis my Otis impressions? So Otis is, of course, a character from the Superman films, played by Ned Beatty with such great power and energy, shall we say. One of my favorite characters. Right, one of my favorite characters in the Superman universe, and so I have a very bad impression. My impression skills are very bad. I always have to say that because it's true. They're very, very bad. And but let's see. What's one that I haven't said yet? I'm trying to think of a line I haven't said yet. Gosh, what was the one? Well, I guess I have to save it. Maybe it's a little bit early. Maybe it's not so. It's in particular today not so good. But um, oh, I don't know. I guess I don't know. Guys, the big one is I'm sorry, Mr. Luthor. I'm sorry. Oh, that little black box in our that little black box, Mr. Luthor. Yeah, that's right. We're going to talk about the little black box. And I tried a little bit of my Gene Hackman Lex Luthor, but that was really terrible. So I was just probably not going to do that one ever again. Mind over muscle, right? So that tracks alpha waves. Oh, alpha waves. Huh? Yeah, so that's my little alpha waves conversation between Lex Luthor and Otis in Superman 2. So anyway, Steve, I hope you're well, my friend. I remember what was it that my impression, I think, scared your pet. So I hope all is well. It's always nice to see you, my dear friend. Let's see. Late Night says, your love of these films shine through. Thank you so much. That's very, very kind, my dear friend. Thank you. Pedro E, it's nice to see you. Paul Casino, our dear friend, nice to see you. Jovial Josh says, hello, Daisuke. Really been enjoying your James Bond live streams. Love your enthusiasm for the films, especially the great View to a Kill. Dance into the... Oh, Jovial Josh, you speak you speak special code. This is the type of comment that really makes me very happy indeed. And so if ever someone were to mention to me something like I love A View to a Kill, then that gets my attention immediately. So Jovial Josh, thank you so much. Let me say that yes, the James Bond live streams happened, I want to say what, well, a year ago now, maybe a little bit more, I forget exactly. But those were a lot of fun. Those were a really lot of fun. And in fact, I'm thinking, oh gosh, I'd love to go back and revisit the world of Bond. It's just maybe I didn't you know, maybe not the, I'm not so good with ranking lists, but I just wanted to do something. Again, maybe talking about the songs. I was watching a new documentary on Amazon Prime, or what was it? Just yesterday, and it was about, it was the Sound of Bond, or the song. I think it was called The Sound of Bond, and it was essentially a documentary about the music of James Bond films, the Eon James Bond films, all the way up to No Time to Die. And so it was and there's a lot of backstage with, you know, Hans Zimmer and talking about the theme and the like. And then, of course, that's not the only film they talk about. They talk about other films in that series. So if you know the James Bond, say, Blu-rays, and maybe for some of you as well, right, the DVDs. I remember when those DVDs first came out, and you'd get the pack of like whatever it was, four or something in a box, four or five in a box. It would be randomly selected. It wouldn't be in the chronological order. But I remember in the second or third box or something, there was DVD of A View to a Kill, one of my favorite films. It's my favorite James Bond film. Number two is, I think, On Her Majesty's Secret Service. I think number one is View to a Kill, and the View to a Kill DVD had the great documentary, which was about the music of James Bond, and so you had all these great excerpts of interviews with people like John Barry and Shirley Bassey and like, I don't know, Marvin Hamlish and right. So all these people were being interviewed, and you get a lot of that interview footage, especially the John Barry stuff, in this Sound of 007, or Sound of James Bond. Pardon me for blanking out on the title here. I apologize, but it was really cool, and you actually get some more stuff, and so. And I really love to. It's actually quite honest. You know, sometimes some of these these documentaries generally might be a bit too what's the phrase? A bit too saccharine, but the James Bond documentaries are refreshingly honest. You know, and they aren't afraid to interview people who have, say, a negative take on something. Like in this one, that it's interesting to hear Shirley Bassey speak about the song Moonraker, for example. That was really fascinating. And then also in some of the other documentaries, right, about the James Bond series, overall, you had some of the actors talking. For instance, you know, the great Timothy Dalton. Timothy Dalton was talking about you know, and he's a killer who bam 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 all that's Timothy Dalton. I love Timothy Dalton. And then, of course, there's the great, I'm not talking about this document, I'm talking about what is it, why am I blanking out on the titles? Can someone help me with that feature-length documentary about Bond? a few years ago. What was it called? Everything or Nothing, I think. And then I'm sorry, it's early in the day. I'm so sorry. My mind is not working. It's not working anyway, but in particular at this moment, it's not working. So, yeah. So I remember I love that for a lot of reasons, especially Pierce Brosnan's conversations about how he loved Goldeneye, but everything else was a blur, right? Kite surfing a tsunami or something like that. So yes. Anyway, thank you. And A View to a Kill. A View to a Kill is, yes, it is. It is my favorite Bond film. I For a long time, my favorite Bond film I would say was On Her Majesty's Secret Service, but now I have to I am fully convinced A View to a Kill is so fun. I am. It's one of those things where um, I was so shocked when I first started to read the like when the internet was just about to come up. I was of course I was of course I'm now in my 40s, and so there was a time in my life when the internet didn't exist. So if you can believe that, right? And so the uh, the how should I put it? The When the internet began to have more prominence, and you get to see these reactions of people, and I also read these books, James Bond books with the reviews. You have Goldfinger getting 4 stars, From Russia with Love getting 4 stars. Um, View to a Kill like half a star or 0 stars. I'm like, what is this? Why is A View to a Kill getting half a star or 0 stars? What's going on here? And people would be talking about how the general consensus would tend to be sort of congealing around the idea that it was ludicrous, it was silly, it was over the top, it was hammy. I never got that. I never got that, to be perfectly honest. I can, if of course, if someone has a negative view of that, that's great. If someone feels that way, that's totally legitimate, totally reasonable. I'm not saying this to try to dissuade that person, but what I am saying is, for me, it wasn't how I ever felt about that film. I always thought it was scary. It was really thrilling. I loved the villains, Mayday and Zorin. It's an amazing. Um, it's really an amazing thing. I'm just um, it's um, what did I do my Christopher Walken impression back then? I forget, but it's another bad one. But it's from a line from A View to a Kill. Oh gosh, what was it? Uh, there's the one. Well, I guess it's not even A View to a Kill. I was about to say the line from the film Pulp Fiction. Oh, uh, here's the watch. He had the watch. I can't do it. Yeah, I'm not going to say that line. So anyway, but yeah, so Christopher Walken and Grace Jones and Patrick McNee and Roger Moore. I mean, Roger Moore is my favorite Bond. I love Roger Moore, with Timothy Dalton a really, 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 really close second. But Roger Moore, I grew up in the Roger Moore era. I discovered Bond during the Roger Moore era, and I love Roger Moore's Bond. And I think, and I don't see. I mean, he of course looks, in terms of appearance, of course, somewhat, shall we say, somewhat older than he appeared in, say, Live and Let Die and The Man with the Golden Gun. But this is the aging process, right? The natural aging process, and I think he looks great. I mean, he's acting great. If the physicality, I think, is really great. Uh, and I mean, he doesn't look, what was the phrase that even he uses? Long in the tooth. I thought it was just a really great adventure film, and not just one of my favorites, but in fact, my favorite Bond film. My favorite Bond film. Just little things like there's the lady on the boat dancing at the wedding party to the that cool sort of amateurish, not amateurs, I guess it's the wedding party jazz band version of A View to a Kill. Na, 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 right? And then there's the whole thing about um meeting Aubergine in the Eiffel Tower, and then the whole, what is the most clandestine way to assassinate someone? I mean, you're there. The assassin is dressed in black. What's the best way to do this in a way that doesn't attract attention? Use a giant fishing rod with a butterfly on the end of it with a hook that has poison, and just fling it around in a group of people in the restaurant in the hopes that it will hit this guy, their target. No one's going to find out. And then of course, what's your escape route? Is it some secret passageway down the Eiffel Tower? Maybe it's the one of the chutes, or one of the hallways that no one uses. Oh, no, no, no. Let me put a parachute on my back and jump off. Oh, that's so cool. That's the most amazing thing. Most amazing thing. And then not and I'm not saying that sarcastically. I'm really, really authentic in my feeling. That's so cool. And then the other thing too is the music. It's one of the best John Barry scores. If I had to say what my favorite John Barry score is, View to a Kill might not necessarily be the top. It would be a really close battle between, say, View to a Kill, Living Daylights, and On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Those three tend to battle it out all the time in my head for being what my favorite Bond score is ever. But it's up there in the conversation for me. So View to a Kill. There's if you have the soundtrack, there's a cue on the soundtrack which is called Wine with Stacy. Now, Stacy is, of course, referring to the character of Stacy Sutton, um, and portrayed by the great, great Tanya Roberts. Really great. And a lot of people, maybe maybe the criticisms maybe is Tanya Roberts' characterization might not be. I think it's a really, really great performance and a really great character. And you check out that scene that she, in particular, that scene where she's giving the explanation about what Project Main Strike is. That's a really great, and she delivers it so well. And so the great Tanya Roberts. And so anyway, her character's name is Stacy. And on the soundtrack, there's a track called Wine with Stacy, which is, oh my goodness. I love that so much. That is such a beautiful, beautiful rendition. It's a very slow, romantic take on the great theme, View to a Kill, right? Dance into the fire, yes. Right, and I love the dance into the fire, right? And then here's like the wind machine, the fatal kiss. Oh, it's all right, right. It's great, great. Oh my goodness. So yes. Anyway, thank you very much, Joss. I'm sorry for that little aside there, but your comment got me excited whenever someone mentions A View to a Kill. So thank you so much for that. Thank you. What was I saying? So anyway, let me now go back to let's see. What was I saying? I was so caught up with A View to a Kill, love. Anyway, oh yeah. So the live chat. Excuse me. Pardon me for my rudeness. Excuse me. So Future Wizard, yes, Future Wizard 97. It's your birthday today, so you're very welcome. Warmest regards. Jambo Shango on the Randy Moles movie show. Oh, my dear friends from way back. It's nice to see you. Yes, Jambo Shango, one of my earliest friends and acquaintances that I met from the very start of this channel. So I am, and your kindness and enthusiasm, I hold a special place in my heart for. So you are. Oh, it's always nice to see you, my dear friends. Thank you so much. Thank you. VFR Zen is here. Hello, it's nice to see you. Otisburg, yes. I guess there's Otisburg, and then there's Lex's Otisburg, Otisburg. And right, I said it in the Superman live stream. A long arm. Would you like to see a long arm, Otis? Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Luthor. I'm so. I didn't have. Oh, my arm. Yeah. So that's great. Yes. Oh, that's great, great. Kei Kawa is here. Greetings from Tokyo. You say it's nice to see you, Kei Kawa. How I hope you have a great weekend. You say thank you, and Kei Kawa likewise. I hope you have a lovely, lovely weekend. Yes, it's Saturday morning right now where we are in Tokyo, so very nice to see. The weather, I don't know. The weather seems to be overcast. Maybe it's getting cooler in recent days, as you may know. So no rain, which is good. So at least I hope no rain. So. Jared is here. It's nice to see you. It's nice to see you. I hope you're well, Jared. Dr. Jellyfinger says to Future Wizard 97, you say happy birthday. And you also say, Dr. Jellyfinger, it's mine today as well. Haha. So, Dr. Jellyfinger, happy birthday. It's nice. I'm very honored that you and Future Wizard 97 and others might might be willing to stop by on an important day like today is your birthday. You'd still be willing to stop by and check out this live stream, even if it's for a little bit. So thank you so much, Dr. Jellyfinger. Warmest regards to you on this happy occasion. That's why they call it happy birthday. So thank you for stopping by. Warmest regards, Dr. Jellyfinger. Happy birthday. I hope you have enjoyed or are enjoying your birthday. And if you watched movies or anything like that and you want to share it with us, share it with me. Let me know anytime. In any case, Dr. Jellyfinger, happy birthday. And warmest regards, my friend. Stephen Schroeder's here. It's nice to see you. Say, sending good vibes from the States. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Thank you, Stephen. It's I haven't been able to visit the United States lately because of all this stuff that's been happening over the last whatever it is, 2-3 years, and so, gosh, has it been that long? My goodness. Uh, Stephen, thank you so much, and likewise, uh, uh, sending good vibes back to you. So I hope all is well, and have a great rest of your day and weekend. Henry and Trooper Film Productions is here. It's nice to see you. You say, I see the circus in the back, one of my top 3 all-time favorites. Oh, yes, well spotted. Yes, I tend to have, I don't have a lot of space in this particular room. So I like these shelves for a lot of things. They also give me the opportunity just to put something on, and then I can put it on the shelf, and I can get it back again, and I can easily retrieve it and just look at the cover art and just to consider it. So yes, one of the films I'm watching or rewatching at the moment is The Circus. This happens to be the Criterion Collection release. So, well spotted, yes, well spotted indeed. Chiggers is here. You say, hello, Daisuke. I'm going to go see Dario Argento's Dark Glasses in a few minutes. Oh, gosh. Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. I haven't been able to see that yet. Oh, Chiggers, let me know how you feel about it. Positive or negative. Oh, whatever you feel, let me know. I'd love to hear about that. Oh, that's so cool. I don't know how I'm going to watch that. I guess I'm going to have to wait for the Blu-ray, or I guess there's a Blu-ray in or DVD or Blu-ray in Italy, I think, or in Germany as well. I think I haven't gotten around to getting that. Oh, I really want to see that one so much. I have, of course, if you had to ask me what my favorite films of Dario Argento's were, they tend to be from, say, the 1970s into the early 1980s, rather than, say, films that he made post 2000, as an example. So I'm in that camp of Dario Argento admirers. That being said, I'm always excited when there's a new work, and so especially if it can, it might be able to point towards some kind of, I don't know. Well, again, it's been a long time since we had a Dario Argento work, so this is that alone is worth the price of admission, I would say. I was just thinking the other day, by the way, just how much I really Dario Argento's films are very intense, and I've been meaning to give a rewatch to that really intense work, which is called Tenebrae. And maybe a few months ago, I was very fortunate to have been able to purchase the Arrow 4K UHD box of Tenebrae with the limit. What is it? The Art Originale um, version, which I love those editions. By the way, I'm looking towards my right here, and I see them on the shelf. They're really lovely indeed. So I cross my fingers in the hopes that they might continue that with, I don't know, releases of, say, Inferno or others, I hope. But in the meantime, or if they can get, I don't know, even films like The Card Player, which I admit is not my absolute favorite Argento film by any stretch, but I think it's really interesting work. And mm, I hope that those can continue, because I really love that. And um, uh, Deep Red, Profondo Rosso, Profondo Rosso. If you haven't seen Deep Red yet, um, and you're okay with intense, say, murder, mystery, horror films, one can classify Deep Red, I think, as a horror film. Although it's probably more appropriate to call it a murder mystery film, or giallo. The And if you haven't seen Deep Red, and if you're okay with films that have, say, sometimes scenes of intense violence in them, um, that is one of the great works, uh, really one of the great works. So of 1970s cinema, 19, let alone, right? Not to mention, it's of course one of the great works of Argento, one of the great works from that period. But it's one of the great works, period. So that and Suspiria. If you have a double bill of Deep Red and Suspiria, that's you're in for quite a treat indeed, I would say. So let's see. All right, thank you so much. Oh yes, thank you. All right. Oh, math. Let's see. So um, oh, Jovial Josh, you also mentioned that you saw Dark, because I know that you two are on an Argento journey. So, oh, great, great. Matthew Lockwood, Oh, it's great. Oh, gosh. Mentioning the film, he meets. Oh, okay. Yes, yes. Thank you so much for that. And also, um, uh, not to you direct, but just generally. So let's see. Oh, let's see. Oh, Zyrother's here. It's nice to see. Greetings, program. It's nice to see you. Yes, and Art Originality 4K version is really, really cool. Thank you. Um, let's see. I think maybe. Uh, I think I last Superman live stream discussion. I think I had received a comment later, after the fact, after it was over. I received a comment from one of our dear friends from the channel here, and he was saying how I think maybe his comment got deleted from the live chat of the Superman 2 discussion, or that he was removed from the chat. I don't know what the details were, because I wasn't aware of that until after the fact. But I might have to just say, just I don't I I uh, I usually uh, want to try to avoid uh, purposefully deleting comments on the live chat feed. So I'm not sure what might have happened. Maybe it was accidentally deleted or something like that. But maybe really appreciate all the great work from moderators, and it's really wonderful. It's looking out for the best interests of this channel all the time. I very much appreciate it. And I think just I think maybe we can try. We can of course leave up all the comments, even the ones that seem negative, and that's totally fine. It's okay to receive negative comments. Just the ones that are just obviously spam. The ones that my policy with comments on YouTube is I don't delete anything. Nothing on YouTube is blocked. Um, but except the spammy stuff, the one like I get those, which is, I mean I get stuff, even now. I mean, not even now. I mean, it's kind of it kind of goes without saying that if you're going to do YouTube, you're going to get your share of negative comments. But I always want to leave those up. I don't. I usually prefer to not have anything removed. The only stuff that I'm okay with removing is the obvious spammy stuff, like oh, click on this link for like click on this link for hot girls or something like. I hate those. I really, really hate those. It's like what a waste of time. What a waste of time to for someone to have to make that and have that be part of what it is they do, is put that on like YouTube channels comments. I really, really hate that. So that's the stuff that I it's okay to remove because it has no bearing and actually could potentially cause some harm to people if people accidentally or inadvertently or perhaps even willingly just innocently want to click on the link and it takes them to someplace that's totally maybe unsecure or something like that. I'm not sure. I can't do so. I always remove those uh, without any hesitancy. Anything else, I think I'd like to leave up. So even if it's like a really obviously negative one, I think the person was saying the other day about he left a comment in the live chat of Superman 2 about I was doing impressions of a character named Non, and I was doing him just because there's a character in the film named Non, and I think this person made a joke, which was something about how something like Daisuke was doing non impressions. Again, it's just a play on the word non, or the play on I should not word, but I guess prefix, not suffix. It's prefix non. So, or I guess non is a word as well. I'm sure, but anyway, um, so yes, it was just a comment like, but then he said later that that was removed or that he was removed from the chat. Again, I don't know what the details are, but I don't, if we can avoid removing comments where possible, like to leave the scope as wide as possible, the berth as wide as possible for all sorts of comments, except the obviously spammy one. So even if it's a comment that seems maybe it's totally random and not related to this conversation, let's leave it up. So and then even if someone seems a bit too let's say rambunctious or rowdy in the chat, we don't have to worry about removing that person. If someone, however, is very clearly, if someone is very clearly being rude to someone else, it doesn't know if someone is being rude to me, that's fine. That's fine. But if someone is very clearly being rude to someone else, and I have to be very strict about this. I know rudeness I have to be very strict about that because it's sometimes subjective. Um, Sometimes I know people. There might be a heated conversation, and sometimes in the heat of the moment, maybe a comment of disagreement from one side might be interpreted by the other as being an attack or something like that. And I get that. I've been in that situation, but I don't mean that. I mean a very clear, with no doubt, in terms of interpretation of words, a very clear indication of an insult to someone else. It's okay to disagree about a film, that's one thing, but to insult someone's character or to insult someone's background or personhood or anything of the sort, that's something I don't tolerate. And so if I see that, I will be very very willing to take action where necessary. So I haven't seen that at all in the chat, to be perfectly honest. So I've been very fortunate that way. Maybe, who knows, maybe people have been having comments removed so that I won't be able to see that. That could be a possibility, who knows. But um, uh, fortunately, I think, at least so far, we haven't had any issue like that. Of course, if it does come up, we can. There's no reason to have to continue the live streams. I'm just it's how should I put it? Uh, it's not like a job for I don't have to do it. So it's if it's causing more harm than good, we can always find another alternative situation as to how we can discuss these movies. But so far, I think it's been very positive. So there have been the occasional character here and there. I know, the internet is a very vast place. I get it. So, but I think, yeah, let's try to be as say, how should I put it? Let's try to um, default on the side of leaving comments up. Rather than default on the side of deleting things that might seem somewhat questionable. So, but I don't want to say anything too untoward, because I know, handling live chat discussions is a really hard job sometimes. Again, it's just I'm very, very appreciative, always appreciative of all this hard work and energy and enthusiasm that people have. And indeed, I can say that for everyone who participates on a kind of regular basis, I can say that it's always been my pleasure. I've never had any issue. Even I don't even if someone says, "Oh, you're wrong," or that, I don't. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. And it's your enthusiasm, and you give me this great opportunity to talk with you more through the live chat. And again, for me, I need this because I don't. It's very again. I don't have the opportunity to see you. It's so I can only associate. Uh, you with, say, the name and your comment. So there's still a limitation even in the live chat arena, I would say, but still, it's very valuable for me to see the comments come in real time, and I really love that it has that lovely uh, uh, one-on-one interaction feel to it. I don't know if I'm making any sense here, but anyway. Thank you so much. But I'm looking forward to, anyway, tomorrow to the great, talking about the great Richard Donner version of Superman 2. Very much looking forward to it. I rewatched it again last night and I had a really great time. Let's see. Jovial Josh is saying you're sampling a View to a Kill soundtrack in a song you're a musician now. That's really, wow, that's great. It's really great. Sorry, I'm just going back and forth here. Sorry. Anonymous Fowler is here. So you say hello, and you say went to Kinokuniya in Shinjuku. Oh, very cool. You bought some anime DVDs. Very cool. Very cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it all. So you're in Shinjuku today. So well done. Well done indeed. The weather, I think, is it's nice and cool. So we're in the autumn season right now. So well done. Let's see. I was in Shinjuku, in fact, a few days ago. In fact, I wasn't at Kinokuniya per se, but I was at another store in Shinjuku. So Matthew Lockwood is asking about band or bands. I haven't spoken about bands that much on this channel. I haven't spoken about music that much on this channel. I mean, I don't know if I have an absolute favorite band. I mean, I could, if I mention, it's, let's see. Maybe one example, I don't know. Let's see. What's one that I've been listening to lately? Sorry, it's early for me, I suppose. But oh yeah, I guess yeah, maybe King Crimson or Radiohead, the Beatles as examples. Um, it's not a definitive list. As examples, I'm trying to think what else. Let's see. Um, yeah, I tend to gravitate towards um, maybe I tend to be kind of like tend towards maybe 70s like prog rock stuff. So, but that's not the only thing that I like. But my dad, right? I mean, I remember my dad. He had my mom and dad. They had these not so many records in their collection, but they had really good ones, and I was listening to. I remember they had Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and they were just listening to that over and over again. So that was really cool, and I'd just be fascinated by that artwork. And also, I remember the great memory of listening. Just one, they sometimes play it in the record player, and you could hear it throughout the house. And so that was the first time I listened to. Um, uh, yes, yes, close to the edge. Right? I remember listening to it, and it was just I would be upstairs in my bedroom and downstairs in the living room. They'd be playing. You could hear like echo through the hallways. Close to the edge, I'm on, not fly away. Oh, such a great memory. Wow. Gosh, gosh, I love that song. Right. But anyway, so let's see. Um, Jovial Joss mentions that the film Giallo, the Argento film Giallo. Oh, don't get me started on Giallo. That film, I hate that film. But anyway, don't let my hate for Giallo, that film Giallo, affect your viewing of it. If you watch it and you engage with it and you enjoy it and you like it or maybe even love it, let me know. Or if you feel the same way as I do, please let me know. In any way, yeah, I really hope that you enjoy it, and very much hope that you enjoy it. And if you do, please let me know. That might give me some gateway into being able to enjoy it as well. So, thank you. Let's see. Julian Pinot is here. Thank you so much. It's nice to see you. All right. Finn is here. Hello. It's nice to see you. Thomas is here. It's nice to see you. So you say my very first introduction to Bond was Skyfall. I just turned 8. I still need to watch the older Bond movies. Yes, yes, but Skyfall. Yes, I know that is a huge, almost like that's a huge one in the Bond canon. It's so big one in terms of box office success and critical success and acclaim, and as well as a further solidification of the Bond mythos in the hands of Daniel Craig, of course. So yeah, I totally get it. Um, it's yeah, and it's a very interesting structure too. Um, right, very interesting structure indeed. In terms of how characters are, say, introduced. Let me put it that way. Um, let's see. Zyrother, I know your love of the film Tron, so very much so, yes. As told by Gonzo, yes, it's nice to see you. And you say, just picked up my first Criterion Laserdisc 7. Take care. Oh, congratulations and welcome to the world of Criterion Laserdiscs. 7 is a big one. Yes, it's right. 7 is a big one indeed. That's a very kind of famous or popular one. It's a popular one, and it happens to be spine number 298. Is that right? Here we go. And this is it, right? This is what you're talking about. That's it. So 7. Yes. This is a very, very, and it's in this box with a lot of stuff. If you open it, See all this. Look at this. If you open it, you can see the liner notes, which look like this, which is a very frightening image if you know the film Seven. So yes, this is one of the, I think, one of the reasons why. There are many reasons, of course, why Criterion is Criterion. One of them being the Laserdisc catalog, and one of the reasons why the Laserdisc catalog is so great as it is, I would contest, is because of titles that are included, like Seven. So my goodness, oh, well done. I'm very pleased to hear that. Very pleased to hear that indeed. Yes, well done, well done. Um, let's see. Let's see. So late night. Oh, Zyrotha, thank you so much. So about the message removed, that, not a problem, not a problem. Yes. So the person said that he was removed, but I don't. I actually I don't know what the circumstances are. So I don't think the person had been removed anyway. So not no worries at all. I know it's Zyrotha, and man, you do such a great job. So thank you. I wouldn't be able to do the live streams without you. I still remember, my dear friends, I wrote through, and remember the the what is it, the polls, right? You would do the polls at the near the end of the James Bond live streams, right? And you'd poll everyone, what film should we talk about next? That was so cool. That's such a clever idea. I thought, oh, because I would just be randomly, oh, let's talk about, oh, diamonds are forever. But then you'd be like, oh no, let's take a poll. Let's have it more interactive. So that's really great. So, uh, let me just take a moment to applaud Zyrother. Zyrother and others always are just. I have this thing where you can assign status of moderator, live chat moderator to people. So that's why you have the little blue. What is it? Wrench, I think, and the name is in blue color. So Zyrother was there from pretty much the early days, right? And so it's great. And I think I want to say that in my heart of hearts, the live stream stuff is pretty difficult, to be perfectly honest. It's hard to get a kind of groove or rhythm. And so even now, maybe uh, people might think that I don't have a groove or rhythm to handle the live stream process at all, which is, I think, a fair criticism. But I guess for me, I can say that during the early live streams, I was enjoying it very much, but I think I really fell into a comfortable rhythm or groove during the James Bond live streams. I really felt that way. I think during the first couple, I was kind of nervous. So it was a little bit rigid, I would say. If I had a chance to do them over again, I really would. But as it was progressing, I kind of got a little bit more relaxed, I would say. And so I think that that I have owe a lot of that to Zyrother, really, and because of the management of the chat and also the polling and everything, you just really brought it all together. And so I wouldn't have been able to do it without you, my friend. Really, really, I will never be able, I will never forget that. So that was such a lovely gesture. So thank you. Um, all right. So um, let's see. Kevin Molloy's here. Greetings from Dublin. Longtime listener, first time caller. Oh, welcome. It's nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Yes. Thank you. Channel is here. Hello. It's nice to see you. Thank you so much. Adi Kravitz, my dear friend, it's nice to see you. Thank you. And you say, I seen, you saw Creep Show. Oh, you saw Creep Show for the first time last week. Oh my goodness. And you say, ton of fun. I'm so glad to hear that. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Yes. Gosh. Uh, what was it? It was our dear friend Tanner at the Horrible Show, who sang, um, mentioning Romero and Creep Show. George Romero, of course, George Romero and Creep Show. I love, and I don't know. I've been when I was a kid growing up, I loved reading Stephen King, like many other people in my group of friends. We loved reading Stephen King, and while I haven't been able to keep up with all of his output, um, I think I was reading basically everything up to the seventh Dark Tower book, which is called The Dark Tower. And then after that, it tended to be more sporadic for me, but it was pretty constant for me up to a certain period. But yeah, oh gosh, and of course you have that great sweet spot of Romero and Stephen King combining together. Wow, wow. So it's very, very cool indeed. And it's amazing to think, it's and speaking of Stephen King, I'm focusing right now on, I don't know, I'm going to try this weekend to make the video discussion on the Brian De Palma work, which is Carrie, right here. This is the Scream Factory release of Carrie right here. And then of course behind me, as I think it was mentioned by our dear friend Late Night Double Feature Picture Show in the chat, is Dead Zone for the David Cronenberg discussion series. So it's interesting that because we're doing these discussion series in parallel, as some of you may know. And so now, by sheer coincidence, we have come to the point where we reach the Stephen King stories in each of their filmographies. And so, but yeah, those are really, the one that I enjoyed very much. I don't know if it's so popular amongst people, of course, go to I remember it, and the Stand. The Stand was a personal favorite of my friends, my friends and me. It was, yeah, we'd be talking about the Stand, like, oh my goodness, can you believe that? And then, so it was a really amazing thing. And I remember too, oh gosh, what was it? There's a Please correct me if I'm wrong. It's been quite a while since I read it, but there's the story. What's the short story collection where the short story The Jaunt is included? Is it Skeleton Crew or Night Shift? I forget which one it is. Speaking of Skeleton Crew, that short story collection, there's a short story in Skeleton. Well, there are a number of them that really scared me as a kid. The one that really got to me what was the title of it? It was called Survivor Type. I hope I got that title correct. Survivor Type. That freaked me out. That was very disturbing for me. And there's another one too, which is, I think, in the Night Shift collection, which is called, what was it? Oh gosh, why am I forgetting these titles? It's so embarrassing. The Boogeyman, I think it was called. The idea of the door being open just a crack, right? Oh gosh, scary. But speaking of Stephen King adaptations to film or to TV series, whatever the case may be. What are some of my favorites? Of course, there's I recently saw It and It Chapter 2. And I thought they were really great. It was really quite frightening. And I thought both of them were really, really excellent. So I love the story It. And I saw the 1990 TV miniseries, the two-parter with Tim Curry. I saw that when it was broadcast on TV. In fact, I remember recording it on VHS. But wherever I was at the time, I forget. But I remember it was like there's a difference of 1 week between, if I remember correctly, the first episode and the second episode. So so during that week, if I remember correctly, it might have been less. I forget, but I would be watching part one on the VHS tape over and over and over and over. It was really, really scary stuff. But, right, it was. What was it? Beep beep, Richie. That was my terrible Tim Curry, right? What was that? They all float down here. They all float down here, right? From that's Tim Curry's great performance as the character who's called Pennywise. So, yeah, yeah, yes. I am eternal child. I am the eater of worlds and of children, and you are next, or something like that. So, that's terrible Tim Curry. Incidentally, here's another Tim Curry. I see you shiver with anticipation. Right. So, But maybe the rain is really to blame, so I'll remove the cause, uh, but not the symptom. Right? So what film is that from? I wonder. But anyway, so let's see. What was I? Oh yeah. So yes, Creep Show, Addy, Creep Show. Well done, well done. Great stuff. Great stuff. Austin Shelton, it's nice to see you. And you say greetings from Oregon. This is my first surprise stream, and I'm excited for it. Hope you have a great. Oh, great, Austin. Nice to see you. You know, I was just watching. In fact, yesterday on YouTube, my family and I were watching. I don't know if, what part of Oregon you are in right now, but for instance, we were watching a video which is like a travel log or travel vlog of visiting Portland, and they're talking about like the donut shops of Portland, Oregon, Voodoo Donuts, or I forget the other, but I've never been to Portland, but I love donuts. I think, wow, the donut culture is intense. Wow, I'd love to be able to visit Portland and see and go to all these donut shops. Wow, donut shop, and they showed like donuts, with um, like peanut butter. Oh my, I just my mind exploded. And I have donuts on on my mind now because I've also been doing the Twin Peaks discussions, and so oh wow, I just I'm you know, speaking of speaking of David Lynch, right? If ever I were able to go to Portland and visit some of those donut shops with a cup of coffee, wow. Oh, as the lady says, right? In heaven, everything is fine. Ah, that is a little slice of heaven to me, if ever there was one. So, anyway, Allison, I hope you're well. And warmest regards. Giz Mordor, it's nice to see you. It's nice to see you. Great. Uh, and Wark Hussey, it's nice to see you from the Netherlands. It's great. Black cat, white cat. Oh, I remember seeing this for the first. I remember. That was like such. I had no idea what it was in some years back, and just that. Wow, yeah. What a great. And you say yes, a joyful and imaginative ride. I agree. Well done, well done. Yes. Um, Oh, Julian asks about Abel Ferrara. So yes, I have I let's see. I I think his works are magnificent. They are uh, sometimes they're quite tough, and sometimes they have a type of grittiness that might be off-putting. Um, they are they have a type of soul, a type of uh, philosophical and emotional soul that can sometimes be maybe described as complex, tortured, um, raw, and always sincere. There's a type of sincerity and edginess which I really. I I did a series of video discussions a few months ago, earlier this year, which is called 31 Days of Police Films and Gangster Films from the year 1970 to the present. And the whole conceit of that project was to talk about a gangster film, what one might classify as a gangster film, but I know that that type of genre classification is a bit, it can get a bit tricky because of the malleability of the concept or the category. I know, but just for the sake of conversation here, uh, the idea of that series was over the course of 31 days, two videos at least. One video talking about a police film and one video talking about a gangster film. So two. And I'd use like red and blue or something. Anyway, the uh, so it was just kind of a random chat, two videos a day, every day for 31 days. And I knew in the back of my mind that uh, I have to talk about uh, Bad Lieutenant, and because um, you know I I think for me I well it was, I remember it was a film that I could see in the theater, Bad Lieutenant, because of my age, but I saw it a little bit later when it was on VHS or made available on VHS, and there are a lot of concepts that I think I was unaware of or I couldn't comprehend because again, I wasn't, my headspace wasn't there. I wasn't of the level of comprehension or intelligence, and still not. But things that went way over my head. But there is a way that uh, I still remember the how should I put it? After watching it for the first time, it it became something that I was just, it just couldn't leave me. I was just thinking about, well, what did I just see? What did I just see? And then it just, over the years, that grew into uh, a a type of uh, a type of almost a cinematic experience. Sometimes the phrase is used in cinema or cinema theory or critical theory, transcendentalism, and this idea of the, something that is embodied in the film. I'm being very rough with my words here, but something that's embodied in the film somehow creates a subjective or psychological effect in the viewer, such that it transcends that which is physically captured in film to suggest something that might be maybe akin to, for example, a type of religious experience, or a type of experience that is outside of the body, or something that is unknowable otherwise. And the idea, maybe sometimes the phrase is in terms of certain examples, the word of God, or the uh, a parable made flesh, or something like that. So this is and I think it was kind of made famous in Paul Schrader's work on, what is it, transcendental, with art and film, and I think one of the filmmakers that was mentioned is Bresson. Well, I think Abel Ferrara's work is very much akin to the works of Robert Bresson. I don't know if that comparison has been made a lot, but I really believe that there's something that is uh, it. Whenever I watch his works, for example, Bad Lieutenant, it's something where I'm seeing something uh, that's almost operating beyond oneself. If that makes any sense, it really makes one ponder uh, the nature of what's the phrase, salvation or redemption, and what that means in the context, not of sort of the ideas of heaven and earth, but in the context of an everyday life, and especially when that everyday life is filled with a lot of stress, as that film is. It's filled with a lot of stress indeed, and it's a film that's not for everyone. That's for sure. It is very, very intense, very intense indeed. But that's the point of that film. And that's what I mean by raw and honest. So it's, yes. Sorry for my being all over the place here. Sorry about that. Great question, by the way. Um, Oh, Pedro, thank you. The Jaunt is in Skeleton Crew. Thank you so much for letting me know. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Ugh. Speak, are there any fans of the Dark Tower series, by the way? I love the Dark Tower. Um, Although yeah, I must say that I mentioned the seventh book, The Dark. I kind of have, you know, I kind of have, yeah. Maybe it's not. If I had to pick my favorite of the dark, maybe I wouldn't pick number seven. But anyway, yeah, yeah, it's great. What's my favorite Stephen King novel, by the way? What was I mentioning? Oh yes, I was mentioning it before, but I don't think that it gets a lot of right. It's not always on the tops of everyone's Stephen King's like favorite Stephen King books. But you know the book Insomnia? I love that. I thought that was a really clever book, Insomnia, with sort of these. This idea of a type of, speaking of a type of after or netherworld or afterlife, that was really clever. What's another one that I really liked? Like the one that I was so proud of reading because of its length, but I don't know if I returned to it. It's Tommy Knockers. I don't know if there are any fans of the Tommy Knockers, but it was an interesting one. What's my absolute favorite novel? I think might be, what it might be. I think it could be actually. I remember reading The Dead Zone. I was floored by that. That was amazing, so amazing. And I'm talking about on its own, right? God, that's so amazing. Speaking of Carrie, I like the book Carrie, um, but to be perfectly honest, I really love the Brian De Palma film. I think that's for me the story of Carrie. Um, I really like the book, so that's a hard question. It's my favorite Stephen King. I'll have to get back to that question, but anyway, yes, yes, Carrie. Oh, I can't wait to talk about that film, Carrie. The Arrows boxes, the Arrow Limited is also behind me, or behind the camera there on the chair. So with the commentary track, and also speaking of Criterion's Criterion laser discs that were mentioned. I mean, do you know that Carrie was once a it was once a laser disc? So this is the CAV release, spine number 141, just in case you're interested. So Carrie. There's also a second release of Carrie, CLV, which is right here. So yes, so very exciting indeed. Yeah. Oh gosh, what was I saying? Yes, I was thinking about, yeah. So here's a little Carrie reference. So this is my impression of an important scene in Carrie. So that's my, yeah. So does anyone get that one? Sorry, it's maybe a little bit too, yeah, no, that's not so good. But anyway, because Mortar mentions, oh, Pennywise, the story of it. Oh yes, I heard about that, but I haven't seen it. So that's a new release, right? I occasionally see Blu-ray.com, and it comes up in the reduced price thing there, and I see, oh, there's Pennywise. Oh, cool. So I always think that's a new release of it, but no, that's a documentary about the making of it, or the story. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. Oh, Pedro, King of New York. Oh yeah, King of New York. Oh gosh, the addiction. Oh, the funeral. Oh yeah. Is there's a um has the funeral been given like a re-release on Blu-ray or something yet? I'm not sure, but the addiction has. I know King of New York has. Oh yeah. All right. Faded VHS is here. Hello, it's nice to see you. It's nice to see you. And you say first live stream too. So welcome. It's nice to meet you, Faded VHS. I love that name, by the way. That's really cool. You say Spielberg supposedly tried to adapt Stephen King for years, but hasn't happened yet. Any story you think would work well to fuse the two Steves? Oh, that's an interesting question. Don't know. Really don't know. What is a good Stephen King story that might match Steven Spielberg? That's a really good one. What hasn't been done already, right? So, and I don't know. I don't have all of the. Um. Oh gosh. Gosh. What's one? I'll have to think about that one. Again, I don't know. Again, of all the stuff that hasn't been shot, I don't know, or hasn't been adapted. I don't know, but like I don't know. I really think they could do. I know they tried. What was it, Ron Howard or something? I forget exactly, with the Dark Tower several years back. It kind of just kind of fizzled out. I think, I'm not sure, but I think someone could do. I think someone could do the Dark Tower story. Just I think it could be Steven Spielberg. And could you imagine like this? Have they done that? Like an epic mini series, kind of like Under the Dome or something like that. I don't know, but if they haven't done that yet, I mean, it's tough. It's tough. Don't get, but that's like that would be. Could you imagine? Oh my goodness. Um. Anyway, I think that would be really cool. Although there's some interesting bits in the Song of Susanna. How they would adapt that one, I don't know. That's a really tricky one. For those of you who know that one, maybe you know what I'm referring to, but it's a really tricky one to adapt, I think. But anyway, um, yes. All right. So, oh, DIY Craft Q again. Oh, thank you. Made a video. I think I uploaded it. Excuse me. I uploaded it here last night about thanking people who left behind super thanks. And I know you left behind a super thanks on another video, DIY Craft Q, but here you are with a live chat. Thank you so much. And the lovely emoji or moving emoji. It's really cool. Number one. Oh, that's very kind of you. Number one, that's very kind. Oh my goodness, DIY Craft Q. Thank you so much. And I will use that, and also the very kind live chat. I'm sorry, I should have said, I was told by Gonzo as well. Not only did you get the Criterion Laserdisc, but also you left behind a live chat, a very generous donation. So thank you very much, as told by Gonzo and DIY Craft Q. Thank you so much. As told by Gonzo, I apologize. I thought I said that, but I didn't. I realized. So I apologize. Let me now remedy that error of mine and say thank you very much for the live chat as well. I will use that with great respect and purchase a Blu-ray, I think. In fact, yesterday, I'm very happy to say that at long last, I went to the Arrow Video UK website and I put in my pre-order for the Volume 2, the Shawscope Volume 2 that I finally put in the pre-order. I was kind of hesitating there because, it's not, I'm not struggling at the moment, thank goodness. I'm very fortunate for that. But with the exchange rates and all of the recent months, it's been my spending power has diminished somewhat. So I've had to be a little bit more cautious when it comes to pre-orders, but I was able at last to put in the pre-order for that Volume 2 box set, as well as the 4K upcoming release of Videodrome. So I'm very excited about that. And then also I was able to get Volume 3. Those are the two pre-orders, and then the Volume 3 set of the Fassbinder box set. So very excited about that. So your live chat, generous live chat donations will help me to cover those expenses. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm very, very, very honored by that. Thank you. Sorry, here's it's scrolling down here. So I'm sorry about this. I'm skipping over a number of comments here, but I'm really apologize. Let's see. So Rich B is here. Hello. Let's see. Ethan is here. It's nice. Libiditis is here. It's nice to see you. No, you had work. No problem. No. Work is very important. So you're not late at all. You're right on time. So it's nice to see you. Let's see. So I think here from the Philippines, please apologize. My apologies. I hope I get this. But Lee, and you say greetings from the. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Greetings from the Philippines. New subscriber here, and I absolutely love your movie reviews. This is also my first live stream. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Oh, it's nice. Oh, I'm very honored. Oh, you're very kind. Very, very kind indeed. It's nice to meet you, and warmest regards. Thank you. Oh, hold on. It skipped over. Kingdom of Heaven. Oh, Michael mentioned Kingdom. Oh, yes. Well done. And Michael, it's nice to see you. MO is here. You say, oh, yes, I wish Spielberg would have taken 11/26. Oh, very interesting point. Yes. JB was here. Stephen King and Spielberg could collaborate on Insomnia. Oh, yes, indeed. Very nice. Okay, let's see here. Start skipping down here. Oh, Matthew Ledo, thank you so much and thank you for the comment. You remind me, it's the imprint release of Dersu Usala. I haven't been able to get that yet. You remind, I should try to. I have to get on that right now. In fact, thank you so much. The imprint. I love it. I don't have all their titles because imprint. Bless them, they're great. Kind of expensive, really expensive, but. Oh yes, I know about that. A dear friend of mine messaged me some time back telling me about that announcement, and then also it's really so I haven't been able to get the Dersu. Ah, my goodness. Um, there's a there. Uh, yeah, it's a very powerful film. It's a very unique film as well for a lot of reasons in the context of Kurosawa's filmography, I would dare say. So it's really and I don't know what the quality is. You know, it's been over the years that you've been able to get it here and there. I mean, I have a VHS of it somewhere, and I have a DVD from the U.S. There's also if speaking of Criterion Laserdiscs, for those of you who know, Der Surzala was once a Criterion Laserdisc back at the time. So that is now, it's always fueled speculation. Maybe, hopefully, one day, perhaps it might find a release, say, in the catalogs of the Criterion Collection. One day, who knows? I'm not sure if that's possible, but the imprint release is something that I really need to get. So thank you so much for reminding me. Romero Flores, it's nice to see you from Ohio, Toledo, Ohio. It's nice, great. Ohio has I may have mentioned before, but my parents, when they were alive, there was a time in their lives when they were living in Ohio, near Akron, Ohio. And then also they lived in a place called Copley, Ohio. So I have such warm memories of visiting them when they were there. What a lovely area. And oh, I'd love to visit again one day. So thank you. So I hope you're well, my friend. Steve Moody again. Wow, thank you. So with another live chat from Steve Moody. Thank you so much. Thank you. Um, let's see, Big Trouble. So I hope someday soon you'll be using super chats to purchase a 4K disc of Big Trouble in Little China. Thank you so. Oh gosh, I'm totally behind the times when it comes to 4K UHD. Really, is Big Trouble in Little China already on 4K UHD? If that's the case, I have to get on that. I'm totally behind when it comes to keeping up with all these releases. Although, I have so many copies of Big Trouble in Little China already. But oh, JB what's here says her Durso has an inconsistent transfer. Okay, if that's the case, that to be honest, that doesn't surprise me, because uh, if you know the release history of Dersu Uzala, you might that tends to be part of the conversation. Let me put it that way. So that doesn't surprise me at all. However, yes, um, it is there's a type. How should I put it? Um, I think uh, of the versions that I've seen, I have never had an experience where, due to, say, transfer issues, let me put it that way, I've never run into an issue of not being fully blown away by the film. I've always felt totally swept up by the film, regardless of any transfer issues that might occur in any of the releases. And I have, how many? As I say, I have quite a number of copies of Dersu. In fact, there's also the Japanese. I have a Japanese DVD of it from the releases that Toho, the Toho Masterworks, Kurosawa Masterworks, I think it was. And so I have that. That quality is, say, compared to recent transfer quality of, say, 2022. It's not of the same level, but it's certainly very much an overwhelming experience. So if you haven't seen it, and if the imprint title is not outside of your budget, or if there are other means to see it, I strongly recommend it. Dersu was all. What spine number was that? Dersu was all, by the way. Oh gosh, I don't. I used to remember that, but now I don't. Dersu is all. What was the spine number? Is it here? Um, let's see. Nostalgia, Pink Flamingos, Evita, English Patient. It's up here. Maybe it's up here. It's got to be up here. I guess I could look it up, but I guess it's more fun to try to figure it out this way. Can't find it. Can't find it. Am I remembering correctly? I hope I'm right. If I'm wrong, then that would be really embarrassing. But it's got to be here. Well, there's Halloween, by the way. where was it? By the way, what's the spine number? This is gonna. Oh, this is gonna bug me. Let's see. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, sorry about this, my dear friends. Just give me a moment while I regroup. Let's see here. This is gonna bug me. I have to check. Let me just check this right here, which is gotta look it up. 256. Ah, gosh, 256. It's gotta be here. Here it is. It's right here. It was right behind the circus. So there it is. There's Suazal. So 256. All right. There we go. Sorry about that. Sorry for that. I'm glad I was able to find out what it was anyway. So, all right. Give me 1 second here. So what is it now? 9:34 a.m. where we are. Seamus M is here from Akron. Oh, Akron. I was speaking of Akron. Oh, well done. Yes. Devo. Yes. Oh, speaking of, there's also the Criterion. It's not Criterion per se, but it's, let's see. There is a Devo connection. I guess I can't find it. I don't want to take up more of your time, but thank you very much. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Oh, you're in New Jersey, excuse me. Yes, so I hope you're well, my friend. Thank you. JB was here, asks about the film Spider, the David Cronenberg film Spider. So we will be talking about the film Spider a little bit later. I don't know when exactly. I'm going through the films in chronological order, but we will be talking about that very soon. I think it's a great film. It's I don't know how much attention it gets in the whole context of Cronenberg's filmography discussion, but wow, great. That is one of the things that we're getting into in terms of the Cronenberg aesthetic, as we've been talking about it, is how you have how he treats reality and hallucination in film, and how his films seem to almost imperceptibly traverse the line between reality and hallucination, even sometimes just by a single edit. And I was speaking recently about the film Videodrome, which I think is a great example of this. Spider, I think, is also really a fascinating example of this as well. So we'll be talking about this hopefully. Again, it's going to come in the order of the filmography, so it's not immediate, but it'll come up very soon. Let's see. Yes. Scrolling down here. Let's see. Sorry about this. So I might have to step out in about a couple minutes here because my stomach is grumbling. So maybe I need to get a quick bite to eat and then take care of a few errands here. So I might have to go in about a couple minutes here. I apologize. So let's see. Oh, Kenneth Lonergan. Yes, Romero Flores. Well done. Well done. I haven't spoken about his works at all on this channel, but yeah, well done. Michael asks about crime thriller movies, Japanese crime thriller movies. You mentioned Outrage and Ichi the Killer, Tokyo Vice. One of my favorites is called Gonin. I don't know if it's available, but if you can get it, find it at reasonable price or rental or whatever. I'll put it in the chat. Oops. If you can, I love this one. That's a really good one. It's called Gonin. There we go. If you can find that one, it's really cool. Let's see. It's got a great cast. Very, very cool guy. I forget the year. What was it? It was it was in the, I want to say in the 90s somewhere. So, but Pedro E says, "Do you like Argento's opera?" I do very much. I think opera is it's It's really intense. And that's really, in that, talk about a film. I mean, one of the great things about Argento is that it's so absurd. Oh, it's so absurd. You gotta love it. And lots of aspects of the absurd and the surreal and so absurd that, I mean, that's the great thing about horror too, which, it's so absurd and scary that it becomes funny and laughable. And I say laughable because that's one of the great reactions I think one can have when watching a horror film, laughing with the film, but also laughing at the film. There's nothing wrong with laughing at a film. A film is not, it's not right, but it means that you're getting and I feel that way oftentimes with Argento films. You laugh with the film. You sometimes laugh at the film. You sometimes are thrilled by the film or scared by the film. I feel that is those 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 levels are pumped to the max whenever one watches the film like Opera. That's a really great one. That's a really great one. That's very intense. Don't read anything about it if you can before watching it. But again, it's not for everyone. It's a very intense. There are some intense, violent scenes. So, but if you're okay with that, and then in the hands of Argento, it's up there with the best of Argento's works. All right. Okay, so I will get going soon. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there are any films. There's a book that I have. It's a great book. It's in Japanese. It's called what the author refers to as films of anarchy of Japanese cinema anarchy films. And the author picks all these films from a certain year, I think from the 1950s up to say around 2016, I think, when the book was published. And so in each year, this author chooses films which are of this type of genre style, um, which are like, I guess I wouldn't call it a. I mean, it's one of my Bibles. I read it like constantly, and so one of these days I'd love to be able to talk a little bit more about those films that are included in that book. But it's not a it's not a it's not a maybe like I wouldn't call it a crime thriller per se, but there's one film that if you're gonna watch, like, if someone were to leave a comment on one of the videos saying to me that they saw this film, again, that gets my attention immediately. It's called this film. I'll put it in the chat. If you can get your hand, I think this has gotten a release already outside of the Japan, right? If you can get this film or watch this film, yeah, this is like if I had to, I'm not an expert when it comes to Japanese cinema. I'm not an expert when it comes to any cinema, but let alone Japanese cinema. But I'm living in Japan. I'm in Tokyo, of course, but I'm not automatically knowledgeable to every aspect of Japanese cinema, unfortunately. But that being said, if ever I had to go and mention, if I had to mention one film, if you had to see one film from Japanese cinema that seems to be, for whatever reason, emblematic or representative of something that is very special that I see about Japanese cinema, it might not necessarily be right, something kind of special. I would say one of the contenders of that my way to answer that question would be this film, Crazy Thunder Road. So if you're able to watch that, if you haven't seen it, it's yeah, that's quite a work indeed. Yeah. And let's see. Gutter Baby asks about favorite war film. You mentioned Come and See. Oh, that's a really intense film. Come and See. Really, really intense film. Yes, Mark W. Very good. Yes. Punk motorcycle film. I like that. It's a lot of mentions of like maybe Mad Max type of style. But there is a there's a like it has its pulse on a type of moment, and the music and soundtrack is just something about it that's so it's like it's there's something about the atmosphere that speaks of a type of, for lack of a better phrase, a type of character of Japanese cinema, a characterization of Japanese cinema that I find very appealing indeed. It seems in that way it's so emblematic, I think, of this idea of what one might call the excitement and energy of Japanese cinema from that period. So, um, you mentioned Murakami, Seamus. I was reading. I used to. I wasn't there at the time of the subway gas attacks, but much later, after the fact, I don't work there now. But my previous job, I was working in central Tokyo, in an office in central Tokyo. Uh, it wasn't a government job, but it was actually near government buildings. And so the one of the chapters in the Murakami work, I think the title is what Underground. One of the chapters is actually dealing with because it's divided into subway lines, if you know that work. And actually, one of the chapters in one of the stations they talk about is indeed the station that I used every day to go to work. I only realized that a little bit later, but it was kind of a real scary detail, actually. But anyway, yeah. All right, I think I might have to go because my stomach is right. It's and I have to prepare for the discussions on Carrie. So Carrie, hopefully to this weekend I can get to Carrie and the Fury, and that'll lead to discussions on home movies and Dress to Kill, and then Blowout. That's what I'm waiting for because if I can get to Blowout, that means I can then talk about the Criterion 2022 releases, which I'm waiting for because Blowout came next in the order, the 4K release of it by Criterion, and after that I can talk about Takeout, Exotica. I can talk about Le Corbeau, which is great, by the way. Le Corbeau right here. Wow. This is really uh, talk about intense, unsettling works. Clouseau as well. Oh my goodness. So this is the re-release of it because it was a DVD, but then the DVD fell out of print, but now it's back with this. So trying to get to the De Palma, and then the Dead Zone, and then that'll get us into the more of the session, so we can talk about the other works in Cronenberg's canon from the 80s. So I've never had a chance to talk about The Fly. Never had a chance to talk about The Fly. So can't wait to talk about The Fly. Talk about The Fly and arm wrestling. Ugh, all right, so we'll talk, and then uh, the great performances there, and then of course I've spoken a little bit about Dead Ringers on this channel before, but not in any great depth. So I can't wait to speak about that. And then for me, which is I think one of the discussions I'm actually quite nervous about the most, is the discussion on Naked Lunch. I'm so excited and so nervous about that at the same time. I can't begin to tell you how nervous I am about it, but it's okay. Uh, that's a wow. What a great. Ah, my goodness. Okay. And then that'll lead us into a detailed discussion of a film that I think for me is perhaps the film that is like, I think it's, if I had to rank my favorite Cronenberg films, if I had to rank them, I don't know if this is my definitive list, but probably the film that would be in the discussion of my number one favorite would be Crash. And that film is something that has really grown on me as I'm getting older. Um, and it's not for everyone, I know, but it's when I've spoken a little bit on this channel, but not in any detail. So and talk about the Cronenberg aesthetic. I think that's maybe, is fusion the right word? Perhaps it's a perfect fusion of, let's say, the entirety of all the various forms in Cronenberg's body of work. If you look at Cronenberg's body of work as divided up into sections, I don't usually use, I prefer not to use the phrase, but there's a phrase that's often used, which is called, quote unquote, body horror. And um, for certain reasons, I on purpose uh, don't don't use that phrase when I speak about Cronenberg's films, but I understand the application of it, which is, or at least I think I do, which is the way in which one sees certain bodies of work of Cronenberg. Maybe Crash doesn't necessarily fall in that category, but in many ways it does. And so this is my way of saying that there are a lot of things that are present in History of Violence and Eastern Promises that are there in Crash, even Maps to the Stars, and even the recent Crimes of the Future, which I love, by the way. I've seen that film now 3 times on the Blu-ray. Wow, I can't wait to talk about Crimes of the Future. Wow, wow, what an intense work. What an intense work. What a weird work that is. Oh my goodness. And it's like the word is very apropos. It's in real evolution, I would say, of the Cronenberg aesthetic. It goes in a different direction, I think. It's very radical for a Cronenberg film. Very radical indeed, in a lot of ways. That's why I find it very exciting. Um, um, Maps to the Stars is, oh gosh, can't wait. And then Cosmopolis, I can't. Oh my goodness, Cosmopolis, and then Dangerous. Oh, Dangerous. Oh god. Before I leave Cosmopolis, I might have mentioned before that I believe I view Cosmopolis as being a type of spiritual, not sequel, but a spiritual, say, it is spiritually connected to the film Videodrome. In my head, I can see those films operating in a type of similar universe. They're very, very similar, I think. So that's why I always I think that Videodrome and Cosmopolis would make a fabulous double feature. Wow, wow. But uh, uh, gosh, what was I? But hey, what was I saying? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so we'll be talking about the Cronenberg films and the like, and so um, uh, uh, oh, what was I saying? And what was I talking? Well, I'm just talking. I'm sorry, I've just lost my. Maybe I haven't eaten my donut this morning, so maybe I need to eat my donut to get my to get the juices flowing. But yeah, oh yeah, so that's the plan. Hopefully, I'll be able to get to those discussions. So the Dead Zone. Hopefully, I don't know if we can do it this weekend, but I'm gonna try to do Carrie and the Fury at least, and then we can get to the Criterion releases. And then, of course, Superman. The Superman 2 Richard Donner cut discussion live stream will be tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that one. Um, uh, Bry Guy 5622. Hi, it's nice to see you. Say best Cronenberg film is Videodrome. As I spoke about Videodrome in a video that was uploaded, or 2 videos, I should say, that was uploaded. I think last week. I think so. That was a very intense conversation for me. I must say, that's a really, yeah. That's also in the conversation. If you're talking about favorite Cronenberg films ever, number one. That's in the conversations. For me, it's probably Crash. What would be up there? Crash, Videodrome. Not to say any of the others are in any way deficient, not on the contrary, but I'm like, yeah, it would be Crash, Videodrome, The Brood. I think maybe those 3. Yeah, actually, yeah, actually, Brood. Maybe I think maybe I love The Brood, but there's just something so um, the concepts in Videodrome and Crash are just packed. Those two films, like uh, it's I use the phrase when I was talking about Videodrome, which is concept rich. That film is so concept rich. It's phenomenal. There's so many ideas and concepts packed into that film Videodrome. And think about its running time as well. What is it? What, like 90 minutes? Not even. It's remarkable. It's truly, truly remarkable just how many ideas are packed into that film Videodrome. The same is true for Crash. so many ideas packed into Crash in that film. It is astounding, utterly astounding. And it is very it's also too in many ways a kind of uncomfortable watch. It's a very uncomfortable watch for me, because of the explicit nature of a lot of the scenes, but also in terms of those concepts that are being touched upon. It's very disturbing stuff indeed. But there's I mentioned the word transcendental, transcend. There is a way in which, or maybe we should say transcendence. There's a way in which it transcends. That's a little Cronenberg joke for anyone who gets. But anyway, it transcends a certain plane of existence, which is the whole. What I think one of the whole points of the Cronenberg aesthetic, which is the idea of the characters trying to transcend or to evolve or to reach a situation that is beyond the state which they currently find themselves at the point of the film, whatever that state may be. You see it everywhere. You see it in all of his films. You see it in Cosmopolis. You see it in A Dangerous Method. You see it in History of Violence. Eastern Promises, for sure. Mapsar's Crimes of the Future, and you also see it in his earlier body of work, of course. The Fly, Dead Ringers. It's all there. Naked Lunch for Spider. It's all there. M. Butterfly. Um, uh, um, um, the Brood, Scanners, the Dead Zone for sure. Not to mention, of course, Shivers, and even to a certain extent, Fast Company, I would say. But that's an interesting outlier in many ways. But anyway, I'm getting way ahead of myself here. So anyway, thank you. Bright Guy 5622 mentioned Existence in the Fly and the Dead Zone. After that, the Brood. I remember seeing Existence in the theater. It was quite an experience. Really, really cool. Um, like, yeah, that was a really cool thing. There's a discussion in that film. I don't want to get again too ahead of myself, but there's a discussion in that film that's so profound. It's talking about um, the concept of the orifice in the body, and the idea of the orifice and infection, because there's this whole thing about installations of certain machinery parts and things like this, right? As you know from Existence, and there's this whole concept about infection and orifice or openings in the body, and how openings can lead the way to possibility for exposure to infection of outside, say, bacteria or disease. But then the counter point is made in that same conversation about, well, in fact, our bodies are already ones that have certain openings as well, and one of which is being right on our face, etc. So this is, I think, it's a type of thing of how exposed already we are to the whole concept of infection and bacteria. Perhaps we are more exposed than we might initially consider, which is, the more one thinks about it, the more frightening a concept that is. Or perhaps that leads us to the other direction, which is the idea that maybe our bodies are more immune than we might realize. And if that's the case, in either way, that leads to the next stage of what one might call the evolutionary process within the context of the Cronenberg aesthetic. So yes, Existence. Wow, yes, that was. We'll get to that one. That's also an interesting one, but. All right. Oh, the Spiky 419 is here. Hello. It's nice to see you. All right. I have to go. It's almost 10 a.m. So thank you so much, my dear friends. Sorry if I skipped over your comments or questions. It wasn't my intention. I apologize. I wish I could get to everything, but unfortunately, um, maybe we'll have to do it another time. But thank you very much for stopping by. Let's see. Oh, Bri Guy 562. No, but I'm sorry I couldn't. I don't announce these ahead of time. I apologize. Again, just very casual talk. But we got in a little bit of Cronenberg discussion there, so that was very exciting for me. So thank you so much. Adi Kravitz, thank you so much, and thank you for mentioning Creepshow. So, well, I want to hear from you if you don't mind. Let me know what specific, was there any part of Creepshow in particular that you liked? Was there any specific episode that you liked or your favorite? I'd love to hear about that. Seamus, thank you so much. It's nice to see you again, and wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anonymous Fowler, thank you. Mike, thank you so much. Mike Eli, thank you so much. Well, everyone, thank you. It's nice to see everyone. Have a great rest of your day wherever you are. a great weekend, whatever weekend plans you have. If you see any good movies or any good recommendations, suggestions for me, always let me know. I'm always happy to hear about those anytime. Uh, I haven't seen this film yet. People have been saying you've got to see this. What is it? What's the title? Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Right. So I haven't seen this yet. I have to try to catch up with this one. So, but I don't know how I'll be able to watch it. I have to order it maybe. But anyway, um, Samuel, thank you so much. Lee, thank you so much. And to everyone, thank you very much for your time, your very generous time. We'll talk again very soon. Once again, Superman 2 Richard Donner cut discussion, Sunday, October 16th, 7 a.m. Tokyo time. Superman 2 Richard Donner cut. That's tomorrow, my time. So if you want to stop by again, talking about that specific work or that specific vision, let me know. We'll have, hopefully we'll enjoy it. So thank you also to everyone who's left behind live chats and super chats and I'm sorry, Samuel Parks. I forgot. My goodness, what where are my manners? I apologize. Samuel Parks, you left behind a super chat during the or live chat super chat during this conversation. Thank you so much for that, my dear friend. Very, very kind of you. I apologize. I was about to end without acknowledging that. Where are my manners? I apologize. Really, I'm so rude of me. Sorry about that. Samuel Parks, thank you. And then you mentioned too in that last bit of Cronenberg discussion there. Um, like, right, The Brood, for example. I agree. I agree. Yes, we spoke about The Brood, did we not, during a previous video discussion? So maybe about a month or so back. So anyway, Samuel, my apologies. I didn't mean to overlook that. I hope you can forgive me, but I did manage to catch it here. So anyway, my dear friend, my dear friends, thank you so much, and have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, nighttime, and have a great weekend. I hope the weekend ahead is a fun and pleasant and exciting one, or if it's a busy one, I hope it's not too busy and it doesn't find you. It finds you still in a pleasant mood at the end of the day, all the same. So, whatever the case may be, please be. I mentioned before, always, but let me say it again because it's really, I really mean it. I really, really mean it. Which is, please, please be happy, healthy, and well. Happiness is important, health is important, and wellness is very important. They are all interconnected, but they're also very distinct. And so, um, please, I hope that all three categories can be checked off for you. And if so, if not, then I hope things can be as well as they can be given the circumstances. Whatever the case may be, my dear friends, at the end of the day, if you're still in pleasant spirits, pleasant mood, which is what I hope, then I hope that you can also find time to watch a lot of great, great, great movies. That's also part of this, right? It's watching movies. At the end of the day, that's why, right? We find ourselves sitting here, you and I talking, because of our fondness and our mutual love for this thing, which we call cinema. So, thank you so much, my dear friends. As always, have a great day, and cheers. Thank you, and see you tomorrow. I hope at the Superman 2 live stream. All right. I think that's it. All right. Okay. Thank you. My foot has fallen asleep. All right, there we go. Got me wanting to read Stephen King books again now. I haven't read his recent books, so I don't know. It's just... All right. There we go. Thank you so much, my friends, and cheers.